Most people look for the obvious things when buying a house: the neighborhood, the light, the price, the layout. They walk through the front door, check the kitchen, maybe glance at the backyard, and if everything seems clean and functional, they fall in love. And that makes sense. But what if I told you that even with the right zip code, a spacious living room, and great curb appeal, your new home could still be quietly working against you? No drama, no ghost stories, just energy, the kind you can't see but start to feel after a few months. You might not call it feng shui, but you felt it, the house that feels heavy for no reason. The bedroom that doesn't give you deep sleep. The front door that opens but never seems to invite anything good in. Maybe your relationships start to feel tense. Maybe your health dips. Maybe you just don't feel like yourself anymore, and you're not sure why. It's easy to brush it off as coincidence. But when the same patterns repeat in different homes with different families, there's something deeper going on. And more often than not, it starts with what you didn't notice during the walkthrough. The way your front door faces a dead-end wall, or how the kitchen seems to spill energy instead of holding it. These aren't superstitions. They're spatial dynamics that affect how your home holds and moves energy, and how that energy affects you. In this video, we'll look at the subtle design mistakes that 99% of homeowners overlook. Mistakes that don't just affect how your house looks, but how it feels to live inside it. Because your home isn't just a structure, it's a mirror. And when it's misaligned, so is everything else. Number 1, a beautiful door that welcomes nothing. There's something symbolic about a front door. It's the very first thing we touch before stepping into what we hope is safety, peace, maybe even joy. We hang wreaths on it during the holidays. We repaint it when seasons change. We lock it at night as a small ritual of security. But most of us never ask a quieter, more powerful question. Is this door welcoming anything good in, or quietly letting everything good slip away? A door can be beautifully made, freshly painted, framed by blooming plants, and still feel off. It's subtle. It's not about style, it's about flow. And what I've seen again and again in homes that look flawless on the outside is that when the front door is facing the wrong direction or positioned without thought to energy, that house can become a place where peace never fully arrives, where money doesn't stay, where health and harmony unravel in small, unnoticeable ways. Let's get specific. Imagine you walk into a home where the front door opens directly to a staircase. You probably won't think much of it at first, but what that layout does energetically is push momentum away. It says, "Come in, now leave." It invites nothing to settle. It's like pouring water into a funnel that leads straight out. There's no holding space. Over time, this can translate into a feeling of instability, financially, emotionally, or in relationships. You live there, but you never quite feel rooted. Or consider a front door that opens into a wall. It doesn't sound dramatic, but day after day, what your body senses without language is a form of obstruction, a stop, a block. You may start to notice more friction in your daily life, delays, clutter, things not quite clicking. It's not that the wall is evil, it's just misaligned with flow. What you need at the entrance is openness, a path, something that says, "You're welcome here, and so is all the good you're waiting for." Now here's the one I see most often, a door that opens directly across from a bathroom. And this one matters, because the moment positive energy enters, it immediately gets absorbed by the one room designed to drain, release, and discard. It's like inviting fresh air into a room full of mold. You may not feel it in the first month, but after 6, you might notice tension, miscommunication, a loss of clarity, even physical symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, or poor sleep. You don't have to call it feng shui, call it instinct, call it home wisdom. What matters is that a house, at its core, is a container. It either holds what's good or it doesn't. And your front door is the first gatekeeper. When it's aligned, you feel it. You walk in and immediately exhale. When it's not, you find yourself rushing out more often or feeling drained after staying in too long. Many people ignore this, especially when house hunting. They fall in love with countertops or flooring or price tags. They don't notice where the door leads. They don't ask what's directly in front of it or how far the energy can travel before it gets blocked. I've walked into million-dollar homes where I could feel the tension before the owner even opened their mouth. And I've seen modest homes, simple, quiet, humbly placed, where the front door opened to a soft path, and every inch inside felt peaceful, calm, and strangely abundant. What you're looking for isn't perfection, it's alignment, a door that opens to space, to light, to a hallway that curves gently instead of clashing sharply. A threshold that doesn't just say welcome, but actually holds that welcome long enough for good things to stay. And the truth is, most of these adjustments don't require demolition. You can't move your entire house, but you can soften the energy. If your door faces a wall, place a mirror to the side, not directly across, to open the perspective. If your door looks into a staircase, a soft rug, a low table, or a tall plant can act like a gentle anchor, slowing the rush. If it faces a bathroom, keep that door closed. Add a small light, a framed print, anything that offers visual warmth, not a hollow echo. Sometimes the fixes are symbolic, but they matter, because symbols are how your subconscious communicates. They shape your mood, your choices, your sense of ease, and they help your home speak back to you, not in words, but in feelings. That quiet lift in your chest when you come home. That sigh of finally, I can breathe here. This isn't superstition, it's spatial awareness. It's understanding that the places we inhabit are not neutral. They respond, they reflect. They either amplify our clarity or slowly cloud it. And your front door, beautiful or not, is the first line of dialogue between your home and your life. So next time you step through your front door, notice what greets you. Is it a wall, a hallway that leads nowhere, a space that feels flat, or is it something open, warm, and willing to receive you? Because how your door welcomes you may say more than any design magazine ever will. And maybe, just maybe, that's where everything begins to shift. Number 2, the front of your house is quiet, but IT pressures you daily. At first glance, everything looks calm. Your house sits neatly on the street, the front yard is tidy, maybe there's a little porch swing or a welcome mat. Cars pass by, neighbors wave, birds rest on the mailbox. It's peaceful, or so it seems. But some houses feel tense the moment you pull into the driveway. You don't know why. Nothing loud, nothing broken, nothing out of place. But your chest tightens slightly. You breathe a little shallower. You step out of the car, and instead of soft presence, you feel watched, exposed, or oddly unsettled. That's not just mood, that's pressure. And often it comes from the directional weight right in front of your home. We rarely talk about the emotional impact of what's facing us. But in the same way that people affect our energy by how they look at us, directly, too closely, too intensely, so do structures. The road that points straight at your front door, the streetlight planted right in line with your windows, the neighboring house with a sharp roof that cuts into your visual field. These things may seem architectural or accidental, but over time they imprint a low-level stress onto your body. You don't have to believe in energy to feel it. You already do. That's why some homes feel welcoming the moment you see them, and others feel like they've been clenching for years. Let's start with the most common layout I see, the T-junction. Your house is at the end of a road that leads directly into your front door. It sounds efficient, easy access, but it's not. In energy terms, this is called a direct hit. It means fast-moving force, cars, noise, movement, energy, rushing right at you with nowhere to soften, slow, or redirect. Your house becomes the target, not the recipient. Living in this kind of pressure day after day is like trying to relax while someone points a finger at your forehead, not touching you, just holding it there. Eventually, your body forgets how to unclench. Now picture a large utility pole or a billboard placed straight across from your home. You might say it's harmless, it's just there. But its size and placement matter. Anything towering over or facing your door directly can create a silent dominance, like someone standing too close, not aggressive, but present in a way that crowds you emotionally. Even trees, when placed too densely or too close to the front door, can become barriers instead of blessings. The very thing we think of as protection, shade, cover, privacy, can, if misaligned, become a weight on our nervous system. And this isn't about fear, it's about flow. When energy, air, light, movement has no gentle path toward your home, it either slams into it or avoids it entirely. Both extremes are harmful. One overwhelms, the other starves. And this lack of energetic balance reflects back into your life. Irritability, anxiety, feeling like everything is a bit too much or just not enough. Think of it this way, your front yard is not just daycare. It's a field, a buffer zone, a space that should prepare energy, filter it, calm it before it enters your home. But if it's filled with angular lines, aggressive structures, or constant motion, it becomes a battlefield, and your home becomes a bunker. One woman I worked with had a beautiful colonial home, fresh paint, landscaped yard, all the right things. But her front door faced a steep road that curved sharply toward her house and ended right at the base of her steps. She told me she always felt on edge, even when the house was quiet. She had migraines that didn't respond to treatment. Her husband had started sleeping in another room, and their teenage son rarely came out of his. On paper, nothing was wrong, but standing in front of her home, you could feel it. There was no space to land. The energy came fast, heavy, and didn't know where to go. We planted a curved row of shrubs, added a low stone wall, and adjusted the light fixtures to redirect flow. Within weeks, she started sleeping better, and so did her family. You see, the solution isn't always to move. Most of the time, it's to soften. Add curves where there are sharp lines. Create visual pauses where there's rush. Think of your front yard and entry like a gentle breath. Inhale, slow down, exhale. Let your home feel like a place where things can arrive calmly. Even something as small as a wind chime, a planter, or a curved pathway can shift the atmosphere. It's not decoration, it's guidance. You're teaching the world and your nervous system how to approach your space. So the next time you're outside, don't just look at your house. Stand with your back to it, face the street. What's rushing toward you? What's looming? What feels harsh, flat, sharp, or too fast? Then ask what's missing. Maybe it's softness. Maybe it's something living. Maybe it's just a moment of stillness before the threshold. Whatever it is, it's within reach. And when you shift it, you'll notice you're not clenching as much. Your breathing gets slower. You open your front door not with tension, but with quiet ease. Because the front of your home is not just about how it looks. It's about how it feels to be seen from it. And when that space is too harsh, too exposed, too pressured, it doesn't just shape your home, it shapes your life. Soften the gaze, curve the line, protect the breath, and watch what returns. Number 3, a kitchen that can't hold warmth, a bedroom that can't hold you. There are parts of a home that hold memory more than others. Not the kind you frame or hang on the wall, but the kind your body remembers. The kitchen and the bedroom are two of those places. They are where we prepare ourselves and restore ourselves, where we nourish and recharge. But when these two spaces are energetically off, the house may still function, but you quietly begin to falter. Let's start with the kitchen. It's not just where we cook, it's where energy gathers. It's where we stir comfort, flavor, and love into whatever we place on the stove. But what happens when your kitchen doesn't hold that warmth? What if it looks perfect in a magazine but still feels cold, chaotic, or strangely distant? I've walked into homes where the fridge hums, the lights glow, the granite gleams, but there's no sense of presence. The space doesn't hold you. Meals happen, but connection doesn't, and often the layout tells the story. One of the biggest mistakes is a kitchen that faces directly into a bathroom. The moment you hear it, it makes sense. The place of nourishment aligned with the place of disposal. It's not about shame or sanitation, it's about symbolism. You can't cook warmth when it's staring at a space that constantly reminds your body of flushing, draining, releasing. That subtle tension creates a disconnect. You may start eating quicker, standing instead of sitting, losing appetite. Food becomes fuel, not comfort. Another common setup is the stove positioned with its back to emptiness, no wall, no grounding. In subtle energy, that's like cooking without roots. The heat rises, but it doesn't settle. Your kitchen begins to feel like a task zone, not a hearth. You move quickly. You clean compulsively. You might even avoid that space altogether, wondering why takeout sounds better than gathering around your own table. But it's not about the food, it's about the energy the space isn't holding. Now think about the bedroom. This is where your body lets go, where your mind releases, where healing happens not with medicine but with stillness. And yet many people can't rest in their own homes. They wake up exhausted. They toss more than they sleep. And often it's not age or stress, it's the layout. I've seen too many beds placed under staircases where constant pressure, both physically and energetically, pushes down on the body all night long. The result? Tension in the neck, headaches, restless legs, a feeling of never quite being safe enough to let go. Even worse is when the bed backs onto or faces a bathroom wall. Again, the symbolism repeats. You are resting against a source of constant drainage, even if it's quiet, even if it's clean. The energy in that room is about release, not restoration. And your body, intuitive and wise, doesn't fully relax there. It might lie down, but it stays half alert, always bracing, always watching. Some bedrooms are too bright. Some are too close to traffic. Some have overhead beams that slice the air above your head while you sleep. And all of this matters, not because it's mystical, but because it's physical. Our bodies read space long before our minds do. The same way we sense when someone's staring at us from across a room, we also feel when a space is either supporting us or silently pushing us out. One woman once told me she kept dreaming of falling every single night for months. She thought it was stress, or age, or maybe some trauma she hadn't processed. But when I visited her home, I saw it immediately. Her bed was placed beneath a low-sloping ceiling beam and her headboard backed into a bathroom wall. The energy, though not visible, was constantly pulling at her. We moved the bed. We added a light fabric canopy. We sealed the wall behind the headboard with grounding colors and soft materials. The dreams stopped within a week. None of this is about being superstitious. It's about understanding that your home has a nervous system, and it's wired through space, placement, and energy. If the kitchen and bedroom are off, the rest of your home might look beautiful, but it won't feel like a refuge. You'll start eating on the couch instead of the table. You'll stay up too late scrolling instead of sleeping. You'll feel heavy at the end of a day instead of comforted. But the good news is, these things can be changed, and they don't require a remodel. A bedroom can be softened with curtains, grounded with warm rugs, and protected with plants or art placed between your rest and any draining source. A kitchen can be anchored by solid back walls, softened lighting, or even just the scent of something that reminds you of home. What matters is intention. Choosing to place things not just for design, but for comfort. Not just for trend, but for how it makes you feel when you walk in and exhale. So pause for a moment. Think about your kitchen, your bedroom. Are they working for you or just existing? Do you avoid them without knowing why? Do they feel like spaces you want to linger in or just pass through? Because if the places meant to feed and heal you are misaligned, no wonder you feel tired. No wonder you can't stay still. No wonder everything feels like a cycle of doing, without the calm of simply being. A home is not just where we live. It's where we remember how to belong, to ourselves, to others, to the quiet rhythm of rest and nourishment. When those two spaces are right, everything else begins to breathe easier. But when they are off, you can live there for years and still feel like you haven't fully arrived. Number 4, light that never arrives, air that never moves, and you forget who you were. There's a kind of silence in some homes that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels stuck. You walk in and the air feels flat, as if nothing has moved in hours. The light, even at noon, seems muted, like it's trying to come in but keeps getting caught behind something. And you start to realize it's not just the house that feels that way. It's you. Every home breathes through light, through air, through movement and stillness in balance. And when that breath is blocked, when light doesn't reach the corners, when fresh air never fully circulates, your nervous system begins to dull. It's not dramatic, it's quiet. You forget how to feel energized. You forget how to focus. You forget who you were when you were still lit from the inside. Most people don't notice it at first. They just start turning on more lights, opening windows that barely open, adding fans, scented candles, anything to fake that sense of freshness. But deep down, the body knows something vital is missing. And no amount of artificial light or noise can replace what's meant to be natural, Sunlight that shifts across the floor, air that carries subtle temperature changes, a room that doesn't just hold you but moves with you. In many American homes, especially apartments, townhouses, or older suburban builds, natural light is treated as a bonus feature. But light is not decor. It's essential. Without it, your mind grows sluggish. You wake up slower. You start to avoid certain rooms. Corners become storage zones. Blankets get pulled tighter. You spend more time in your head than in your body. And maybe you tell yourself it's just aging, just winter, just habit, but part of you knows this isn't how you used to feel. Then there's air. True, clean, circulating air, not vents blowing from the same spot, not a ceiling fan on high, but cross breezes, openings that let the house refresh itself. In feng shui, we say air must circulate, but not scatter. If it moves too fast, good energy flies out. If it never moves, it dies. But even without knowing those words, your body already speaks this language. You've walked into someone's home and immediately felt light, clear, awake. And you've walked into others and felt sleepy, distracted, oddly heavy. One woman told me she had stopped using her reading nook, the one space in her home she once loved, because she didn't feel present there anymore. Nothing had changed, she said. The chair was the same, the view was the same, but something was off. We visited together. I sat down quietly. The window behind her was blocked by a thick curtain. The air was stale. There was no movement, no light bounce. Her mind, just like the air in that room, had nowhere to go. We shifted the chair to a diagonal corner, opened the curtain halfway, placed a plant to the left. Within a few days, she was back in that chair with a book in hand, and her shoulders soft again. It's not magic, it's how humans are wired. Light signals the brain to regulate hormones. Air affects everything from sleep to emotion, and when both are missing, when you live day after day in a house that's too dim, too still, too sealed, you begin to adapt, and not in the good way. You shrink, you withdraw, you stop singing without noticing. You stop reaching for certain goals. You start tolerating clutter, accepting silence, calling it quiet when really, it's just numbness. Sometimes it's about structure. Windows placed too high or too few, rooms with only one way in and no way out. Sometimes it's how we furnish, blocking airflow with heavy drapes, covering windows with dark blinds, stuffing corners with tall furniture that eats the sunlight before it can spread. And sometimes it's emotional. We choose dark rooms because we feel safer in them. We avoid fresh air because we don't want to feel stirred. But in doing so, we disconnect from the very thing that keeps us alive. If this feels familiar, don't blame yourself. This isn't about fault, it's about awareness, and awareness is enough to begin change. Ask yourself which room in your home feels the most stagnant, which one never gets touched by morning sun, which space smells old even when it's clean, and more importantly, which version of you used to love light, used to open all the windows, used to feel vibrant in your own space. The good news is the solution often lies in small shifts. Let light in consistently, not just when guests arrive. Use mirrors to bounce it into deeper corners. Open 2 windows at once to allow flow, not just air. Remove thick, heavy drapes and let fabric move. Use sheer panels or blinds you can angle gently. Add indoor plants not just for beauty, but because they breathe too. Create openings where stillness has become suffocating. And pause every day in one spot of sunlight, like you're feeding something in yourself that's been starved too long. Because when your home starts breathing again, so do you. Your energy lifts, your mood steadies, you sleep deeper, you feel more like yourself. And that's the part we forget. Light and air don't just clean a space, they restore the person inside it. So the next time you walk through your home, ask, where does the light go? Where does the air rest? And where have you been missing from without even knowing it? Number 5, objects that don't speak but still steal. There's a kind of silence that feels loud, not because of noise, but because something in the room feels like it's holding more than it should. You can't put your finger on it, but you sense it in the way your shoulders tighten when you sit down and how you avoid a certain corner without realizing it, or how a room starts to feel heavy, even though nothing in it has moved in years. Objects have memory, not in a mystical way, but in a deeply human one. They hold the energy we place into them, around them, through them. And over time, they begin to speak, not with sound, but with presence. a cracked mirror, a dusty corner table, a painting that once meant something but now just takes up space. We think they're harmless, just decor, just stuff. But the truth is they shape how we move, how we think, and even how we feel inside our own homes. Start with mirrors. Most people place them without thinking, across from doors, above couches, near beds. But in energetic terms, mirrors don't just reflect, they double. So if you place a mirror across from your front door, you're not just decorating, you're reflecting every ounce of good energy that tries to come in right back out. It's like welcoming someone in and immediately showing them the exit. That space never holds energy. It always feels a little empty, a little rushed. You might notice yourself not wanting to linger there, and you won't know why. Now picture a mirror facing the bed. It seems innocent, but the bedroom is a place of rest, of stillness, of deep letting go, and a mirror in that space, especially one that reflects your body while you sleep, creates a sense of being watched, even if only subtly. Your mind may never say it out loud, but your body knows. You sleep lighter, you wake more often, you dream less. You feel exposed in ways you can't explain, not because of superstition, but because your nervous system never fully drops into peace. Then there are the objects we love but haven't cared for in years, houseplants with yellowing leaves, wind chimes that haven't moved in months, a bowl of coins gathering dust. These were once tokens of beauty, joy, abundance, but now they are reminders of stillness in the wrong places. Objects carry intention, and when their condition no longer matches their purpose, they don't stay neutral, they begin to subtract. You don't need to throw everything away, but you do need to ask, is this item still alive in my home or just occupying space? Some of the most powerful shifts I've seen didn't come from new furniture or expensive renovations. They came from someone removing three things: a piece of art that no longer felt like them, a gift from someone they no longer spoke to, and a pile of books they'd been meaning to read for 5 years. Once gone, the room felt bigger, lighter, calmer, not because anything new was added, but because the weight of emotional dust had been lifted. We underestimate how much energy clutter holds. Not just physical clutter, but emotional clutter. Guilt, obligation, memory that no longer serves, that broken lamp you've been meaning to fix, that stack of unused candles, the drawer full of cords, the shelf full of nothing, the hallway lined with things you walk past daily but never really see. Each one pulls a little from you, not in big dramatic ways, but in small, consistent ones that slowly drain your sense of ease. And it's not just the old or broken. Even beautiful objects, if placed wrong, can disrupt the flow. A sharp sculpture near the entrance, a heavy cabinet blocking a hallway, a rug that bunches up and makes you step awkwardly every single day. We tell ourselves we'll move it later, but later becomes years, and in the meantime your body adjusts. It learns to avoid, to tighten, to brace. And before long, that sense of gentle, effortless movement through your own home is gone. The goal isn't perfection, it's harmony. It's choosing objects and placements that support you, not distract you, drain you, or make you shrink. That's the essence of healing space. It's not about how it looks on camera. It's about how it feels when you're alone in it, barefoot, early morning, before anyone else wakes up. Does your home let you breathe? Does it hold you without gripping? Does it allow silence without becoming cold? I once walked into a woman's home where everything was elegant, cream fabrics, polished floors, curated art, but it felt tense. She admitted she barely used her living room. Her guests never stayed long, and her own evenings always ended with a glass of wine in the kitchen, not the couch. We walked the room together. The coffee table had sharp metal corners. The artwork was abstract, with jagged lines and no warmth. The mirror reflected the door. There was no softness, no welcome. We didn't redecorate, we rebalanced. She added a woven throw, swapped one painting, and moved a single chair to face inward, not out. A week later, she texted, "I sat in the living room tonight for the first time in months. It felt like home." That's the power of objects. They don't have voices, but they carry messages, and you, whether you realize it or not, are listening. So pause today, walk through your home, not as its owner, but as its guest. What's the first thing you see when you walk in? What corner pulls your eye or makes you look away? What item in your home are you keeping, not because you love it, but because you're used to it? Because in every home, there are things quietly asking to be released, not with resentment, but with gratitude. Things that once served a purpose, but now quietly steal from the present. And once you let them go, what returns isn't just space, it's peace. Maybe you came here just curious. Maybe something about the title pulled you in. Maybe it was a quiet question you hadn't asked out loud. Why don't I feel at home in my own home? And if anything we've explored resonated, if a door, a wall, a window, a bed, or a forgotten object stirred something inside you, then I want you to know that's not just coincidence. That's your awareness waking up. The truth is, homes don't fail us all at once. They do it quietly, through small tensions, unspoken discomfort. A room you stop sitting in, a sleep that stops restoring, a feeling you can't name but can no longer ignore. And yet, this is not a story about blame or fear. It's a story about attention, about energy, about remembering that your home is not just walls and wiring. It's a living field, a container, a mirror, and it responds not to perfection but to presence, to intention, to whether the space you live in is in harmony with the life you're trying to build. So if anything you've heard today made you pause, that's enough. That's the beginning. You don't need to knock down walls. You don't need to buy new furniture. You don't even need to do it all at once. Sometimes the most powerful shift starts with standing in your own living room at the quietest part of the day and asking, what here still feels like me? And what doesn't anymore? And if you're still here, listening, feeling, reflecting, thank you, truly, because the world needs more of that. More people who choose to live gently, to notice deeply, and to make space for what matters. So from my heart to yours, thank you for sharing this moment with me. I hope your home becomes a softer place to land, a clearer space to breathe, and above all, a mirror that finally reflects you, fully, quietly, beautifully, as you are. Until next time, take care of yourself and your space. It's listening.